House of love and light. House of love and light. Amy, take us to the place where we can be just who we are. And it's alright in the house of love and light. House of love and light. Amy, open up the door to the place where we walk by faith and not by sight, not by sight. Through the house of love and light. House of love, the house of love and light. The house of love and light. If we get this right, we'll make the world a house of love and light. If we get this right, we'll make the world a house of love and light. House of love and light. House of love and light.
That's right. Get your mini disco ball out because today is about rejoice. Rejoice, rejoice, rejoice. This whole month at House of Love and Light, that is the theme, to rejoice. Good morning and welcome to House of Love and Light. My name is Amy Steinberg and this is my house in the mountains of Asheville, North Carolina. Good morning, AJ and Stephanie and all of those who I've said hello to in chat already. I just want to give a shout out to Craig and Wesley and Jan and Christine, Jen, Pat, Cecilia, and Angie. Anybody else who's here, I'm so happy you're here. Be sure to say hi in the comments. Be sure to like and share and all that stuff for this morning session of glory and goodness and joy. So rejoicing, I love this idea that rejoicing is, re-upping our joy, practicing our joy, releasing our joy into the world. And today the topic under that theme of rejoice is release the old. Can I get an amen? Release the old. And when I think about that, one of my favorite quotes about that kind of idea of releasing in a spiritual way is the Michelangelo quote, "I saw the angel in the marble and carved until I set him free." Come on. I saw the angel in the marble and carved until I set him free. And that, I think, is what God is doing to each and every one of us, is God is carving away the spirit within us, the highest self, the highest truth, is carving away all the things that keep us from our highest joy, our highest happiness, our highest vibration. Can I hear an amen? Good morning, Lindsay. Good morning, Lorraine. Good morning, Lisa. So happy to see my little Hall of Family on here. Be sure to invite a friend if they've never been here before, and remind everybody, myself and all those who are here, to stick to the mission. Always having that clear mission of nourish you with spiritual food, some meditation, some prayer, some uplift, and then uplift you to make you feel good, to, just release those happy hormones in the brain and those happy chemicals, the dopamine, the serotonin. By giving you familiarity, by giving you patterns, by giving you new habits, and inspire you to be your highest and best you, because I'm trying to be my highest and best me. These Sundays for me, I am like my highest, most expressed self. I'm doing art, I'm doing music, I'm talking spiritual stuff, I'm sharing all the brilliance of my friends. I'm trying here to be my highest self, and by doing that, I hope I'm encouraging you to do the same. Can I hear an amen? Okay, so we're going to start with, as we talk about releasing, of course, we have to sing this song, right? We have to sing this song. So I want you to join me in singing this. And as you do, I want you to think about what you want to release this morning, because we're gonna do some serious diving into conditioning, ideas, people, places, things we want to just let go of to make space for that new as we enter into this awesome time of regeneration and rebirth. Yes. Okay. So here we go. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Come on. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. One more time. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No, 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 no more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yes, I'm only here for God. Expressing as the good of each and every one of us. And so as we consider this idea that when we release, we make space. Sometimes it's scary to let go. Yeah. So we're gentle with ourselves when we're letting go of habits. We're gentle when we're letting go of relationships or people, places, or things, anything that is not working for us anymore. Ideas, beliefs. I surrender. Sing it with me. I trust and I know that as I surrender, I fall into the arms of love. Join me singing. I surrender, yeah. I trust and I know that as I surrender, I fall. Come on. I fall into the arms of love. Deep breath in. Letting go right now in this moment. I bring my awareness to the most high energy, the vibration of goodness, the spirit of love that is fueling all things, that energy of life, that God, source, force energy that is in us, as us, through us, each and every one of us. I know that this power, this presence, this joy is easily and effortlessly always letting go of what no longer works, shedding, releasing, uplifting, up-leveling. And I feel it in my life. I know for myself that there is a joyful shedding, a joyful releasing of old ideas, old belief systems that would keep me in any space of dissatisfaction or happiness. I claim and know joy. I claim and know peace. I claim and know release. I claim and know satisfaction. We can get some satisfaction here today. I claim and know that divine joy, effervescent, ever expanding love is in me, as me, through me. I know this for each and every person watching. And I say, thank you, God. Thank you, good. Thank you, Spirit. And I release these words with an amen, with an and so it is. And we sing, come on, join me. I surrender. What do you want to let go of? Come on. I trust and I know as I surrender, I fall into the arms Let's sing it one more time, really singing it. I surrender. What's gone, what's past is past. I trust and I know the best is yet to come. That as I surrender, I fall into the arms of love. I fall into the arms, I fall into the arms of love. I fall into the arms, I fall into the arms of love. Deep breath here. So grateful that you're joining us this morning. Here at House of Love and Light, we like to honor all paths with a very simple, sweet candle lighting. And I ask that you listen today to the words that Troy is going to give us, because it's important for us to remember where we came from spiritually, and all of the paths have validity in my eyes. And then we'll have a little gratitude meditation as well. And I'll be back.
Morning, Hala family. I light a candle for the Eastern religions, Hinduism, Buddhism, and Taoism, that teach us about harmony, karma, and the way. I light a candle for Judaism, Christianity, Islam, and Baha'i, teaching us about tradition, forgiveness, surrender, and order. I light a candle for ancient wisdom and New Thought traditions, including indigenous teachings, shamanism, paganism, science of mind, and New Age spirituality, teaching us to root and expand. And I light a candle for the great mystery, the eternal question, the not knowing. May we all shine on.
Good morning, Hala family. I'm Jen, and I'm here in California, and I've been asked to do the gratitude segment today. And I want to share with you a practice that I learned from one of my childhood heroes, Mr. Rogers. It was shown in his, a clip of it was shown in his 2019 film, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, when Fred Rogers is sitting across from a gentleman, and he invited him to join him in a moment of silence. And so that's what I'd like to do today. I'd like us to take a moment and think about all the people who loved us into being. Just 1 minute. I'll watch the time. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you so much. We didn't do a full minute because I know that I don't have the attention span to wait. But I love this idea of being grateful for the love and the people that brought us here. So maybe in the comments we could start some gratitude and we could talk about what we're grateful for. I'm so grateful that I'm alive today. I'm so grateful that you're here with me today. I'm so grateful for upcoming travels that are on the schedule. So I'm grateful for the future. You know, I'm grateful for excitement for the future. What are you grateful for? Let's get some gratitude rolling up in these comments. I'm so grateful for my sweet girlfriend. I'm so grateful for the beautiful weather up here in the mountains. I'm so grateful for divine guidance inside of me, teaching me and showing me the next right thing to do for my health. What are you grateful for? I want to see some gratitude rolling up here. Health and well-being. That is number one. That is number one, isn't it? You know, the minute you start to feel some health stuff happening, it's like all of a sudden you become real grateful when you feel good, right? So I'm with you on that, Suzanne. Absolutely. Grateful for the bluebirds in my yard. I love that, Jill. We have blue jay. Is it blue jays? What is it, babe, if you're watching? What are those? I'm grateful for you, Steph. The will to change into a better me. Amen. Me too, Leah. I'm so grateful that I have the willingness to sort of change some habits. I've made some big changes this week, and it's just really done wonders for me. I'm grateful that my granddaughter, oh, that's great, Pat. I'm so happy to hear that. That's great. So we have, in our yard, we have all these birds that come and visit, and it's so wonderful because each bird has like a different meaning to it. We saw a bunch of robins the other day. AJ, did we ever, blue jays, right? We saw blue jays mean commitment, and we have a bunch of those here, and grateful for a new day. That's right. USC friends I got to see and paint with. Oh my gosh, I love that. All those pictures from Lorraine and Lauren's art show. Congratulations on that. I love that so much. So let's go into our card pull for the day. Grateful to be teachable. Oh my gosh, me too, Craig. Me too. Grateful for healing. Starry. Yes. Oh my gosh. Isn't it amazing that we like have a cut and we heal? But like that's not just physical. That's in our spirit too. When we get emotionally hurt, we heal, you know? We heal. Grateful for my sister. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad you have a good sister. I have a good sister too. I'm grateful for my sister. Thank you for reminding me. Collecting and eating blueberries from the bush outside my door. I mean, it's like Snow White. You are Snow White, Jan. Like, that's incredible and amazing. I love that so much. Don't you love? We're having a bounty come up in our garden. We're going to have tomatoes and cucumbers, and grateful for growth, grateful for love, hummingbirds. Yes, keep it coming as we listen to Casey pulling us a card, which is a wonderful card for the week. As we, again, today, if you're coming in a little bit later, it is Rejoice. Release the old. Release the old.
Greetings, Hollow family. Welcoming you this morning to release what no longer serves you. Letting go of all fears that surround you and creating new intentions for yourself. Releasing the old today. I love to use smoke to clear. Epsom salt baths release things well. And of course, I love my selenite. I have a little bit of it right here to show you. I actually have a charging pad. So this is a great stone to clear energy as well and to charge. So there's your little clearing lesson for today. And today we're going to use Diane Cooper's Archangel cards. I'm really feeling the angel help to release things. I call in all the angels, right? So let's see what angel's going to help us. Today, Archangel. What Archangel do we need? Whoop! It's Archangel Mariel. Manifest for the highest good and work with pure love. So as you release things, of course, you have to replace what you've released. So let's use the power of Archangel Mariel. What does she have to say? Here she is. Ooh, look at that beautiful heart-centered, loving energy. You have chosen a power card today, suggesting you are ready to use your power of manifestation wisely. If you do this with integrity, Archangel Mariel will support you. First, you are invited to step into the magenta flame of divine feminine love to attune your soul star chakra to its highest and purest light. So create a picture as clearly as possible within your navel or your third eye chakra. Raise it with concentration, focus, and pure intention to your soul star chakra. Hold it there for a moment before you beam it out masterfully into the unmanifest realms. It will attract and draw in all the high frequency energies you need to bring into physical reality. When you are in total alignment with your higher self, you can create wonderful things for the world. So be ready. As you release the old, you are bringing in that new. What are you manifesting? Smoke it out, bathe it out. Get out in the sunshine, get out in the moonlight. I wish you a wonderful week.
Isn't she just marvelous? Smoke it out, bathe it out. Releasing the old. with that manifestation of our highest self. That is what we're talking about today. How can we become better? How can we become better than our conditioning, better than the status quo, better than the things we were taught as we were growing up? How can we do that? How do we do it? Here's Ash to tell us what he thinks about that.
Hello, beloveds. Ashru is here. And I am releasing the old way we believed it was appropriate to dress when you go for a hike through the forest. But one of the things that I find so amazing as we relax our identification with phenomena, with form, with thought forms, descriptive frameworks, our ideas, and we recognize and emphasize ourselves as this spacious moment. You know, it's so obvious that everything naturally lets go. Every blink, you notice how many times have I blinked? Every time, like I'm walking out right now, right? Each time my foot hits the earth and then it comes up, the earth isn't reaching for me. Releasing the old. You could do it. Another thing that's really fun to notice is how our thoughts naturally self-release. You know, we have this idea that we have to do something with them, that we have to change them or cultivate them or replace them. But if you really pay attention, you know, when you're really still and present, that's why meditation and stillness and, you know, present moment awareness is so powerful. Because the more we start noticing how present the moment is, the more we start also noticing how the mind self-releases, emotion self-release. Everything about this moment undoing itself. Kind of like giving way to the ecstasy of being. And that being is you. I love you.
Giving way to the ecstasy of being. That's just what he gives us each and every week, is another version of that idea that we are releasing naturally. There's this natural undoing. I love that idea. The earth isn't reaching for his feet, right? How can we process what he's just said for ourselves? We can become really, really present. Like right now, if you're scrolling or if you keep going away and coming back, like just stay here with me. Stay here with me for this time and breathe deeply and be present with me. And it would be really helpful for all of us, you know, if you do that. Just because once we're more present, it's like we can be more engaged in the moment, which is where the joy is, which is where the happiness is. You know, I find myself squirrel, you know, doing different things, and I'll be watching something, then I'll go somewhere else, and then I'll do something else. And so I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to me. You know what I'm saying? All right, so I'm going to introduce our little musical guest briefly. Eddie Watkins Jr. wrote me the House of Love and Light theme song that I just still am not sick of. I hope you're not sick of it. I really love it. And he is just one of my favorite New Thought artists. He is a very famous bass player in the Motown era, but he's also really well known in the New Thought community. He was the music director at Seattle Center for Spiritual Living. He's traveled everywhere. He's been everywhere. He's incredible. And this is, you know, I say this about a lot of his songs, but this is probably my favorite song of his. It's the one that brings me to tears every time he sings it. And so I really wanted to share this again. I shared this probably last year, but I just wanted to share it again because it was the perfect song for this theme of the day. Here is Eddie Watkins Jr. singing I Walk Away, and then I can't wait to share with you my message and my jam of the day. Here's Eddie.
Every morning, the light keeps getting brighter as I wake up to the truth. And every day, I'm feeling so much lighter and the world seems fresh and new. What I was taught and the way that I thought stopped serving me long ago. Now I'm learning to trust in the God of all of us. Each day I start anew, and so I'm walking away from the thinking that held me for so long. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the path that led me to confusion. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the thinking that held me for so long. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the path that led me to such sadness. Today is the day I walk away. Every day I walk away. Every morning brings a new beginning. By grace another day to be. And I awaken to the sun upon me shining, lighting the way for me to see. Oh, things that I sought and the ways that I thought stopped serving me long ago. Now I'm learning to trust in the God of all of us. Of yesterday I'm letting go. I'm walking away from the thinking that held me for so long. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the path that led me to confusion. Today is the day I walk away. Oh, I'm walking away from the less than that held me for so long. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the path that led me to such sadness. Today is the day. Today is the day. Today is the day I walk away.
Every day I walk away. Is that the best, most beautiful thing? And I encourage you to rewatch that as many times as you'd like. Thank you so much, Eddie Watkins Jr. You are absolutely brilliant and one of my very, very favorites. This week, I got really excited about this theme, and I wrote this little jam. You know, I write a new jam every week, and this week I made a little track, and I'll share it with you after I give you this little message. Releasing the old. Rejoice, rejoice, rejoice. Can I hear an amen up in here? Rejoice, release, watch your happiness increase. Rejoice, release, watch your happiness increase. Let go, let it go, yeah. Come on, rejoice, yeah. Release, watch your happiness increase. Release. to celebrate the glory of the Most High love coming through you in this moment from below and above. It's everywhere present, spirit of the good juice, always taking time to remind you of the truth. And the truth is, we are blessed beyond measure. Are you listening to your conditioning? Are you getting better? You got everything you need to become everything you dream, and you can be the happiest version of you. You'll see if you rejoice, release, watch your happiness increase. Sing it with me. Rejoice, come on. Release, watch your happiness increase. Let go, let it go. One more time, come on. Rejoice, release, watch your happiness increase. Rejoice, release, watch your happiness increase. It's time to celebrate the glory of the Most High love coming through you in this moment from below and above. It's everywhere present, spirit of the good juice, always taking time to tell you about the truth. And the truth is, we are blessed beyond measure. That's right. Are you listening to your conditioning? Are you getting better? You got everything you need to become everything you dream, and you can be the happiest version of you. You'll see when you rejoice, release, watch your happiness increase. Rejoice and release. Let it go. You know me, I love words, and the word release is such a cool word, right? Release. So comes from Latin, which means to do again, right? And lease is like the contract. It's a contract. And a contract is like the contract of your soul. So when you release, it's like you get a new lease on life. Do you love that? You release to let go in order to make new space. Releasing the property of your soul. I love that. Of your body, of your mind, of your life. Can I hear an amen? And when we release the old, of course, we build a hollow, a cave, a respite, a space for the newness to come rushing in. And that is something to rejoice about. Can I hear an amen? However, we're reminded again and again and again that releasing old ideas, old people, places, and things, conditioning, reactions, it's sometimes not as easy as it sounds. So we're going to talk about this today, this releasing of the old and the challenges that we have with doing that, and how it can be sad to let go of anything, even if it's bad for you. So there's grief when we talk about release, but there's also feelings of deep happiness and joy. And so there's this wonderful reason to rejoice. Hallelujah. Yeah. So in the book of the month, which is the ultimate happiness prescription, Deepak Chopra has 7 keys for joy and enlightenment. Deepak talks about conditioning, which is what we're kind of talking about today. He talks about during one of the specific keys. The key that he talks about is the 4th key, which I have read up to keep the 4th key this week if you're following along. So the 4th key is detoxify your life. And so during this key, you think he's going to talk about eating fruits and vegetables, but that's not what this is about, okay? He talks about this idea that we're conditioned from such a young age to use tactics for survival, tactics for joy and happiness, how to get what we want. We learn all the ways to manipulate our parents with temper tantrums, or we learn to be passive aggressive, or we get what we want, and these tactics become toxic. So he talks about how the most important thing to detoxify is your mind. Your mind. Releasing the old patterns and tactics and conditioning and what we're told and what we're taught in that status quo that I talked about. And I immediately was thinking about Alan Watts, who's a great philosopher, and Christy Snow has a song with the words in it. Watts' idea in Christy's song says, the map is not the territory, right? So just because there's been like a name slapped on a mountain doesn't mean that the mountain itself has changed. So just because you were told XYZ about yourself, even if it's told to yourself by yourself, you don't have to own it as your own, right? Your life is not your story. That's what Christy Snow's song says. It says, the map is not the territory. Your life is not your story. Not the stories that we keep telling that keep us in unhappiness or in victimhood, in these belief systems that tell us that we're not enough, that we're unlovable. These stories do not make us, okay? These conditionings must be gone, and we can detoxify our life by releasing the old, releasing, and we can do it by singing sometimes, so sing it. Rejoice, come on, release, watch your happiness increase. Rejoice, release, watch your happiness increase. Let go, let it go. Sing it. The time to celebrate the glory of the Most High love coming through you in this moment from below and above. It's everywhere present, spirit of the good Jews, always taking time to remind you of the truth. And the truth is, we are blessed beyond measure. You know it. Are you listening to your conditioning? Are you getting better? You got everything you need to become everything you dream, and you can be the happiest version of you you'll see when you rejoice, release, rejoice, release. I love this story that I heard from Tara Brock, who actually got it from Annie Dillard. So this is my version of another version of a story. But this is great. So check this out. An Eskimo is talking to a priest, and the priest is telling him about hell and the devil and getting his soul saved from sin. And the Eskimo says, well, what happens if a person doesn't know about hell and sin? If they don't know about it, do they still go to hell? And, if they don't know about the nature of sin and the devil and, do they go to hell? And the priest thought for a moment, and the priest said, no, if they don't know about it, then they will not go to hell. And the Eskimo said, well, why did you tell me then? I love that. I love that story so much. This story makes me think about our conditioning. We're told XYZ, good or bad. We're told when we do this, we're good. When we do this, we're bad. We're pretty when we do this, we're ugly when we do that. We're better when we're a different size or a shape, or it'd be better if we were stronger or less shy, or it would be better if we, if we weren't gay, or if we were married, or if we had kids, or whatever it is, whatever we're told by society, by our parents, by our peers, a myriad of things that we really don't need to know, right? But we know, because once we know, we can go to hell, just like the Eskimo. This is such a great metaphor for this topic. When we know about our insecurity, we can feel what hell feels like. But imagine if we could release some of these stories, some of these knowings that we have, because true knowledge, when we think we know something, how many times do you think you know something? That's when we become in real trouble, right? Because knowledge is the original sin. That's the sin that we're talking about today, right? Original sin. We think we know something. I don't know anything. Do you know something? We think we know something about ourselves or our lives or other people, how you should behave, how things should be, but aren't we just constantly surprised by what is being offered by the Spirit of life? You can think you know a thing and get the handle on some experience, and then the universe says, oh yeah, how about this? How about you deal with your parents getting sick and ill and dying? How about you deal with some other kind of health issue or a job issue or something internally, a mental health issue or something like that? And the universe says, how about this? How about this? How about this? The next thing you know, we're going through another fire. And I love what Bukowski writes about this. He says, what matters most is how well you walk through the fire, okay? The fires are there. The fires are there. Now I'm going to go on a little tiny tangent right here, because as I was thinking about fire and walking through fire, I was thinking about menopause and why women have hot flashes, right? Like, why would the primal female body have blazes of heat run through their system? Like, what is that? And I was thinking that maybe it's the universe, like literally putting women through the fire. Putting through the fire as they venture into that wise womanhood, into that crone space. And our sleep cycles get all messed up and the hormones shift around. And I think that has to do with like this tribal remembering of being awake at night for the babies in the village or whatever. I don't know. I mean, I don't know any of this. I just was thinking about it, and that's what came to me in meditation. But isn't menopause and our changes in general, okay, so from childhood to teen years, from teen years to adulthood, and then adulthood to older adulthood, aren't these shifts all thresholds and opportunities to continue to rejoice and release? Rejoice and release. So as children, right, we rejoice and release the teat. That mama energy. And then as teens, we rejoice and release the control of our parents, and we become rebellious, and we walk through all kinds of fires in our teen years, right? With love and intimacy and learning, friendships, rejection, stuff like that. And then of course adulthood and becoming older. I'm just entering adulthood at 47, and I'm seeing that the thread here is to rejoice, release, let it go. Rejoice, release, let it go. Let's sing it. Come on, we sing. Rejoice, release, watch your happiness increase. Rejoice, come on, release, watch your happiness increase. Let it go, let it go. I was in the hot tub, I know, tough life, and there's this tree that hangs over my porch, and it's shedding, and I get this little pool sifter thing out, and I sift the dead leaves that fall, and then I get in the hot tub and they start falling again. So I'm in the hot tub sifting it, and they're falling, and I'm sifting, and they're falling, and I'm sifting. And I'm thinking, how perfect is this for this metaphor of the week? Like letting go and releasing. These trees are just letting go all over me. And I thought, well, it falls, you clean it out. It falls, you clean it out. And then eventually you just get out of the hot tub and close the lid. Our lives are a constant shedding, a constant letting go. This is the work of our souls. Letting go of who we think we might have been, letting go of any old ideas, shedding, letting go of anger and shame and guilt, as we spiral up toward greater happiness. This is the stuff that leads to greater happiness, according to Deepak Chopra in this book. And we consider this idea of rejoice. We consider this idea of releasing the old. Let's release our limiting beliefs. Release our limiting beliefs. Louise Hay, the great Louise Hay, if you accept a limiting belief, then it will become a truth for you. So we can decide to shift our truths by releasing limiting beliefs of our conditioning. Yeah, we can be glad that we get to sign a new lease on our lives. We need to up-level our experience. It's ever expanding. It's the ever expanding nature. And we can try, but our spirit will not stand still. It's like my song, Surrender to the Incline, my spirit will not stand still. So hear it and let go of that will, right? And grab hold of that willingness. So how do we release? How do we do this? How do we really detoxify our minds of these old conditionings and these old beliefs? Well, there's always affirmations and prayer and doing things like House of Love and Light, increasing your awareness. And there's this idea that Deepak talks about, which is the witness consciousness. And we talk about this all the time in here, but there's a little process that he gives. It's a beautiful little offering that Deepak gives when you're dealing with toxic emotions or conditioning in a situation with shame or guilt or something with another person or a pattern. What you can do is he suggests that you express it through writing. He gives this very specific thing, and I like it. I really like it. It resonated, so I wanted to share it again with you. And if you have the book, you've already read it, but it's good to hear it again. So he says to write something 3 ways. The first way is to vent your experience, vent your frustration, like you did this and it made me feel this and I felt like that, and you just get it out. And then you write from the other person's perspective, what they might be thinking or they might be feeling. And it might be hard, that might be difficult to do, but try it. And then write a third perspective from like a reporter, from the witnesses. And he says that what happens when you do this is that you work on ridding yourself of that toxic emotion, that toxic energy by just expanding your awareness. When you've taken the time to consider what the other person might feel or what it might look like from the outside, you start to see everything. We start to see everything in a different way, right? We realize that we don't need to change anybody. We don't need to control anybody. And we naturally become more peaceful and happy. So what are the old ideas, patterns that you want to release. I want you to tell me in the comments now. I want to know what you want to walk away from, like what Eddie says in his song. I'll start telling you first about what I'm releasing, and please put it in the comments. Let's share with each other what we want to release. I started a new nutrition program. I started to watch very closely what I'm eating and exercise more. You might have seen my dance reels if you're on Instagram. Oh my gosh, I'm having so much fun with that because I really don't like to exercise, but I love to dance and I love to be in the spotlight. So I've just been like making these little reels and dancing, and it's been so fun. And I'm committed. I'm committed to exercise. I'm committed to physical health right now. So I would like to release like old habits, old stories and ideas that I can never really be healthy, that I can never really change, So I'm excited about that road, and I want to be healthy. As I shared last week, my sleep has been very disruptive due to my health, and so I'm letting go of certain behaviors and habits, and it's a process, right? I mean, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, and we can take it one day at a time, be very, very easy and gentle with ourselves. We're coming out of such a crazy time, you all. Like when I went to see the doctor and I got on the scale, they were like, oh, those are the pandemic pounds. That's what she called them, the pandemic pounds. So we're all making shifts. And some people like got really, really healthy during pandemic. I got extremely comfortable. So my body's like ready for a change. So let me see what you're going to release. Hi, Donna. So good to see you here. Fear-based deity paradigms. I love that. Yes. What do you want to release? Put some stuff in the comments that you're ready to let go of. I want to let go of my fear of success. I want to let go of my lack consciousness. I want to let go of any kind of abundance issues that I might have. I want to release my feeling of being misunderstood. Maybe I'm thinking what you're saying. Like, I know that feeling. I release my story. Yes. And create the story of how, yes, release the story. The map is not the territory. I'm letting go of making people wrong. Oh, that's so big. My fear of making too much money. I have that fear too. I really do. It's like, you can't be too successful. I get that, regret. Oh, sorry. My heart just holds you right now. Letting go of regret, because you know what? What's done is done. What's done is done. We've all done things. I watched Palm Springs last night. Have you watched that movie? It's on Hulu. So if you have Hulu, it's free, and it's Andy Samberg, and it's this wonderful, wonderful movie. It's kind of a Groundhog Day type of thing, and I really enjoyed it, like philosophically, and regret is one of the themes in that. It makes me want to cry just thinking about that story and how we've all done things that we wish we wouldn't have done, and we're all human. My fear of stepping into my power, the responsibility that comes from being successful. Amen. What did Anne say there? Let me go back here. Judgment of self. Oof. Ageist ideas. I love that, Lorraine. That's so good, because age is just a number. Like, people are living well into their hundreds at this point, right? Like, you're young. I release my expectations and embrace people exactly as they are in the present moment, knowing love and truth between us always. Carol, come on, Carol Cook. Yes, I also let go of regret. Let's all release all these things and supporting each other. I love this little Holla family, We've got each other, and I'm really excited about having you in my life in this way. Let's sing one more time. We sing. Rejoice, release, watch your happiness increase. Rejoice and release, watch your happiness increase. Let go, let it go. It's time to celebrate the glory of the Most High love, coming through you in this moment from below and above. It's the everywhere present spirit of the good juice, always taking time to remind you of the truth. And the truth is, we are blessed beyond measure. Holla, are you listening to your conditioning? Are you getting better? You got everything you need to become everything you dream, and you can become the happiest version of you. You'll see you got everything you need to become everything you dream, and you can be the happiest version of you. You'll see if you rejoice and release, watch your happiness increase. I got so into that jam that I did this. Rejoice, release, watch your happiness increase. Rejoice. That's right. That's right. And if you give anything today, any offering at all, financial offering, you will receive that MP3, that demo that I made. Check it out. Come on. That's it. rejoice, release. So much fun to make, and it's just a demo, but I really appreciate you all giving to House of Love and Light. It is the way that I pay my bills, and it's just how I pay the artists. So please text LOVE to 828-383-9889. It's super fun. You can follow the prompts and give a little bit. Or paypal.me/House of Love and Light, or Venmo at Amy-Steinberg-5. I feel like I went really quickly into the giving without really closing out the talk. So I just want to say one more time that I know that letting go is a process. And letting go is something that we can bring into our conscious awareness by just expanding our awareness, right? Expanding our awareness of what are those conditioned ideas? What are those thoughts? Oh, wow, there's that thought again that I'm a piece of shit, or whatever that thought is that tells you, you know. And just becoming aware of it, right? I am so excited to share with you that we have almost everything completely ready for the this week. I will be sending out an email to you about the retreat. So if you want to go to the retreat, you're interested in learning more about it, please put your email in. If you're not on my mailing list, if you're not on the Hala mailing list, please put your email in the comments right here, and you will receive an email this week with the beautiful catalog that Myron has made for us regarding the Harrison Serenity Ranch Hala Retreat, October 15th through 17th. We will be able to start booking that. We will have early bird prices coming up this week, and it's a rustic ranch out in these mountains of San Diego, but it's beautiful, and my beautiful friends run it and own it. So I'm so thrilled to go and do this with you and have this incredible weekend of uplift and joy and expression and doing all the things that we do here basically on Sunday, but in person, you know, doing gratitude circles and fire, you know, releasings and dancing and doing talent shows. And we just have all these ideas. Myron came to visit and we did a lot of visioning, and I'm just very, very excited. So definitely put it in the comments if you want. And yes, you got my email. I will definitely be sending it to you, Lorraine, for sure. So we're going to continue rejoicing through June. Thank you so much for continuing to come. I know that other churches are opening, and I think a lot of folks on the West Coast are here live because it's early out there. And if you're on the East Coast and you're rewatching, I'm so glad that you're rewatching, because I know that you have your own churches that you go to. So I am so grateful that we're continuing with House of Love and Light. I know for sure I'm going to continue it through the summer. Again, I don't know exactly what's going to happen. So I don't, you know, the numbers are kind of going down, but at the same time, the rewatches are continuing. So I just want to keep doing it as long as you want me to do it, and as long as it feels good in my heart. And it still feels really good in my heart to create these tapestries. So we have a few more things here. We have Lorelei with her astrological forecast. I have a tool of the week, and then Christy Snow is going to lead us in a releasing meditation. So we have a few more things coming up. Don't go anywhere. Here is Lorelei.
Hello, my brothers and sisters of the House of Love and Light. It's Lorelei, your dream accelerator. What a powerful time we find ourselves in now. Eclipse season. We've just celebrated the Gemini new moon solar eclipse, what we call an annular solar eclipse. The moon didn't totally cover the face of the sun. It left a ring of fire. But eclipses are always like a factory reset. You know how sometimes on your phone you need to bring it back to the factory reset? Well, that's what we all have the opportunity to do now. And since Mercury, the planet of communication, that little guy with the giant reputation, plays such a major role in this solar eclipse time, you have the opportunity to rewrite that internal narrative, that internal dialogue, to really look at and examine, re-examine, love all the re-words with Mercury in retrograde, pay attention to those, what you say when you talk to yourself before you even talk to anyone else. And the big news also that just shifted last Friday for the next 6 weeks or so is that Mars, the planet of action, the planet that drives us, the planet of initiative, the planet of desire and passion, has been was in the most emotional, sensitive, vulnerable sign of Cancer. I've been talking about this. So you might have gotten more in touch with what really nourishes and nurtures you, and at the same time may have felt tentative or even defensive about taking action in your life, because Cancer is the crab. And again, it does not confront things directly. Well, now Mars is in the fixed fire sign of Leo. What a beautiful time to reconnect to the confidence, to the courage, and to that part of you that's ready to take a risk, that innocent child that just delights in its own energy and doesn't know from defensiveness. The child, pay attention to that part of you that just gets so enthralled with what brings you joy, reconnecting to the spirit of play and to the spirit of recreation, of recreation, and to the heart of who you really are and to the heart of who other people are. And until we connect, I wish you blue skies, green lights, and lucky stars.
Okay, I want to geek out for a minute astrologically, because after listening to what she said, I love what she said about Mars moving from Cancer to Leo, and I want to geek out with you for a minute. So the astrological wheel, so starting at Aries and going to Pisces, like Aries is the beginning and Pisces is at the end, let's say, or it's a wheel, but I'm just going to put it like this. So Aries is like the newborn. So Aries is like that baby energy, that crying, that I just do what I want, I flop around. That's that Aries energy. And as it progresses, it gets to Pisces, which is Pisces is that wise old spirit, that crone energy. So I always think about Cancer as being like the preteen maybe, or like the tween, is it called a tween? And then the Leo to me is always like that teenager, like that like, I can do this, I'm amazing, I got this. Like Leo energy is like that confidence of like, it's a kind of unfounded confidence. Have you ever known a Leo that you're like, girl, why are you so confident? You need to chill out. I love Leos. I have Leo all over my chart, as you might imagine. But that's such a cool idea that Mars is in Leo right now, and that Mars is that planet of action. Sorry to geek out on astrology, but I just wanted to share that idea of that growing up, because we were talking about, growing up and all the different rejoice, release. So let that inner teenager kind of come out to guide you to that new thing that you want to do, those new ideas. I love what she said, that this is a great time during retrograde to release all those rewords. So the tool of the week is to identify the people, places, and things and ideas that you want to release. And then take a small action toward letting go, whether it's writing about it, creating an affirmation, praying about it, creating a new little habit. For me, gosh, this is a really hard one, and I'm getting slapped in the face every time I don't do it. I can't eat after like 7:30 at night. I just can't. My body doesn't want food anymore after that time of night. I get sick if I eat late. And so it's like, okay, well, listen to your body. That's one of the tools, right? That's one of the tools that Deepak talks about. So changing that behavior is not as easy as it sounds though, right? Does anybody else have that? Can't eat late anymore? Such a bummer, because I love to snack late at night, like little snacks at night. Nope, can't do it anymore. It's a stupid example, but it's a practical example as well. All right, so here's a little closing meditation with the beautiful and amazing Reverend Christy Snow, and then I'll just be back to say goodbye and thank you. And I'm so glad you joined me. And somebody pointed out that I do have dots, and I have dots. I haven't painted for a few weeks, so I thought maybe I'd showcase some of my older work. And then I love that I found this dot shirt. You guys, I found this in Ross for like $12. I just want to say that out loud, because you know me, I love a bargain, and I can't believe I found this. It's like my art. So here is a little closing meditation. Sorry, I've kind of got you wound up, and now we're going to chill out for a second. So let's take a deep breath in. And here's Christy. Treat yourself to this little meditation.
Good morning, House of Love and Light, Asheville. It's so good to be with you again. Let's just take a moment and follow the breath. Move within. Take some deep breaths, and let's move into a space that allows us to be a cause for joy in our lives and in the world.
So breathe with me. Release into this moment. And let's consciously release anything and everything that is not for our highest and greatest good. Consciously releasing the old to embrace the new. And so I ask myself, what within me needs to be released for me to live my best life, to contribute my authentic, beautiful, love-filled expression to this world. So breathing into this space, being a cause for joy in the world. To rejoice is to experience joy, but also to cause joy. So I know for us that we are each instruments of joy in the world, to the degree that we release anything standing in the way of joy, anything standing in the way of love, anything within us, any pattern of belief, any habit of behavior. What within me do I need to release right now to be a cause for joy, to experience joy? And so I breathe in deeply, a yes, a willingness, an acceptance of being that center of peace and that cause for joy. So let us rejoice this morning as we release anything within us that has run its course, that needs to be let go. I just say thank you for it. Thank you for this life. Thank you for joy. Thank you for my ability to release, to embrace, and to cause joy. Yeah. So we let it be.
Kisses and love to you, Christy Snow. Thank you so much. I feel so much calmer when I take that time to just do those little 2-minute meditations. You can always rewatch if you got distracted. I really invite you to go back and take the time to sit with her voice and that little music that Myron has created for us, and let yourself really, really just rejoice and release. I love that idea that rejoicing is giving your joy to the world, giving it out. And that's what I try to do here at House of Love and Light. I hope you feel it. I hope you feel washed in joy. I want to thank everybody very quickly. I want to thank Casey for the card pull. I want to thank Troy for lighting the candles. I want to thank, was it Jen that did the gratitude? It was so wonderful. I want to thank Ash for his brilliance. Eddie Watkins Jr., who, I walk away. What a song. I invite you to download that from iTunes or Amazon. I walk away from Eddie Watkins Jr. I want to thank Lorelei for always giving us such a beautiful new thought astrological take. And thank you again for Christy Snow. I hope you feel washed in joy. I hope you feel ready to receive your MP3. I'll remind you that if you give anything today, anything from $1 to $1,000, you will get that MP3. Let's listen to it one more time. I'm gonna bring it back just so we can jam for a second to go out.
Watch your happiness increase. Rejoice. Do you love it? Release. Watch your happiness increase. Let go. Let go.
Yes. Come on. Oh, so I don't want to play too much.
Rejoice. Release. Watch your happiness increase.
So again, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have an awesome week. Join me on Wednesday for music and meditation at, I think we're going to stick with 8 p.m. It was 7 p.m. forever, and I think 8 p.m. will work better. So 8 p.m. this week, we're going to sing. I love you all. Have a fantastic week.
House of love and light. the place where we can be just who we are, and it's alright. In the house of love and light, house of love and light. Amy, open up the door to the place where we walk by faith and not by sight, not by sight. Through the house of love and light, house of love, the house of love and light, the house of love and light. If we get this right, we'll make the world a house of love and light. If we get this right, we'll make the world a house of love and light. House of love and light. House of love and light.